Someday this BaconBit will release.
Cut for time. We're going to cut that song. It's not really relevant to modern audiences, so...
Okay. So, as some of you saw on our social media channels, we saw the movie Snow White.
All of us together.
What was the last time all three of us went to a movie?
The Batman.
Yeah.
Wow. It was that long ago?
I think so.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen very often, but for special occasions.
Just three dads hanging out, watching Snow White.
Hey, three dads went to Disneyland together. Why can't we go see a Disney movie together?
What's next? Are we going to go get our ears pierced at Claire's?
Save for the.
Did you know Claire's is gone from this mall down here?
Oh, no.
Anyway, we went and saw the movie Snow White, the 2025 live-action adaptation of Snow White.
Just Snow White. That's it. Just
Disney's Snow White.
We're going to be reviewing it now. The first part of this review will be spoiler-free. We're not going to spoil...
A movie that's almost 100 years old.
The folklore of Snow White. There are some changes they made.
They did.
We won't spoil it.
That's what we will talk about in the spoiler section.
Yes.
Mostly.
So we'll let you know. We'll let you know when the spoilers are coming. So don't worry. If you haven't seen it, we can talk about it a little bit at first.
Should we skirt any controversies? Because
I don't think we can, because Wikipedia, as I'm looking at it right now, has a whole section for controversies surrounding this movie.
Okay, well, let me give you the synopsis itself. Princess joins forces with 7 dwarfs to liberate her kingdom from her cruel stepmother, the evil queen. And it's a live-action adaptation of the 1937 Disney animated film, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
Starring?
It is a flesh and blood.
Starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Gadot.
And no one else.
Yeah.
No one else of note.
I mean, if you're related to someone who produced it or wrote the music, then you're in the movie.
Well, hello.
Okay, so there's some controversies here, and I've been following this for about 3 years because they started a press tour when they started filming this movie, and this movie was meant to come out a year ago, remember?
Yes.
And they kept saying, we got some reshoots to do, or just maybe they want a public favor to be hired because Rachel Zegler is very outspoken. And so she came out immediately and was like, ew, Snow White, what a creepy stalker movie. Who wants to watch a movie like that?
Direct quote.
No, seriously. She goes, weird. A prince, kisses a sleeping princess. Gross. My movie will be way different. Like, if you like that movie, you're a little old fashioned. And then she just kept going for it and being like, maybe there won't even be a prince in the movie. Maybe, it's not even about love. And everyone's like, oh, so it's just a different movie altogether. And then she just kind of kept saying things to the point that they didn't have a press tour for Snow White. Like, they literally canceled the press tour. So no one could ask her any questions.
Going well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a few more controversies as well.
Well, there are, because I remember Peter Dinklage.
That's the first one.
Well, that was one of the first ones where he said they're making Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. That does not seem like it's appropriate in today's era.
Yeah.
And then
basically say you better not hire little people for
Gal Gadot
the roles.
Has some political views that people don't agree with as well. Like we don't want to get into all the controversies because there's definitely sides people are taking. But it's just funny how every single side seems to be offended by one point or another towards this movie.
Who's less likable, Rachel Zegler or Blake Lively? I know. Is this another show? Is this a
No?
I had to think about that. I'm not sure.
Or Gwyneth Paltrow. Anyways.
She wins.
No, but so we went and saw it, and we went into it with, and the reason we bring up the controversy because we went into it kind of with that hanging over our heads, like not like oppressively, but just like it's a cloud that's there,
and doing what we do and following what we're interested in.
Yeah,
you hear about it.
Yes,
it was unavoidable.
And I have said numerous times on Bacon Cell that I am not a fan of live action remakes of these Disney live action remakes. Really, am not. So I went into it that as well. But
I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, we have a live action, everything, a fake live action Lion King and a prequel to that movie.
I still haven't seen either.
They can't stop making these kind of movies because they've made money in the past.
And they keep making money.
But the question is, will this one?
Yep. I think it'll make money.
You think so?
I think that the audiences want something like this. It's kind of an awkward time, right? Releasing kind of mid to late March.
Yeah, and movies are failing. By and large,
movies are
right
not
now.
doing great, but they weren't doing great. And then Inside Out 2 came out. Granted, that was in the summer, and it was a massive success. I think audiences are thirsty for something like this, and they will go see it. Because what did Mufasa make?
Less, but still about.
He made Simba.
Yeah, it made a bunch of money.
About
right?
600 to 700 million.
Yeah, it made a bunch of money. This will do better than Mufasa.
You think so?
I think so.
I did notice because when we went to the screening, it wasn't just critics. There were families there, and there were kids there, and people were dressed up.
Gosh, I hate when that happens.
No, I liked it because then I'm like, okay, now I can get a real gauge for it.
Yeah.
I'll say this. No one seemed fully engaged. Well, I shouldn't say no one.
There was a weird guy behind us that laughed at weird parts.
That was Zack just throwing his voice. Do it,
I
Zack.
knew it.
Throw your voice.
Was that the guy that whistled along?
Yeah.
There's a guy whistling along.
Yep.
I hate whistlers.
I totally missed that. No, but I just noticed as like at the attempts at humor, at kind of the more exciting parts, there was little to no reaction from the audience. And I kept being like, is it because of the movie or just because people don't really get the theater experience anymore or mostly viewing at home? I don't know. But I just kind of noticed that, especially with a couple of humor parts involving the prince, where I just went, no one laughed at that.
For everyone who's wondering, this is a largely original musical.
Meaning like, well, okay, largely original in that there are many songs. But
There were two returning
there's
songs
two returning
of the
songs.
3.
Yeah.
Hi-ho.
Hi-ho and Whistle While You Work.
That's it. Yeah. Yep.
And everything else is like, I don't want to give my review already, but it's original songs.
We might as well give you a review. Go for it.
I mean, it's original songs to the quality of, I don't know, Mulan 2. Think about how memorable those songs are. I'm not even saying Moana 2. I'm saying Mulan 2.
There's a Mulan too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ugh.
There is. I could say Pocahontas.
We're going to save it for our direct-to-video sequel.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. Okay, so look, I already have a bias against Rachel Zegler. She was in my least favorite movie of last year.
What is she in again? I was trying to remember the other movie she's been in.
West Side Story,
Yeah, that's
Right.
her big movie.
Yeah, okay.
She was in Shazam too. Did you see that one?
I didn't say that one.
where she was good in West Side Story, I will say. She was good.
As Maria?
Yes,
She was no Ariana DeBose.
she did
anyways.
the thing. Yeah.
Okay, so this movie, it feels like they're trying to be the joke that Enchanted is talking about the entire time. And so, like, because I think Enchanted is delightful, right?
Love Enchanted.
Because it kind of is so well ahead of its time, but it's meta. It says, hey, remember those princess movies and how kind of like silly and quaint they are? Like, it told the joke. It explained the joke to the point where we don't need to see the joke anymore because we're like, yeah, I really appreciate those tropes. And now it's like, you want to see those tropes again, but also taken really seriously? It's like, okay. So basically, this movie has Rachel Zegler in like on screen at all times. And then trying to be very convincing, you have Gal Gadot as the evil queen. And honestly, I don't know if it's like a missing range for her or if it's her chewing the scenery, because it kind of felt like she was chewing the scenery, because where she didn't really get a character in this movie, or no one really did, she was just there like flail around and be big. And I was like, you know, I kind of appreciate her in this movie for that reason.
Sorry, who?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Yes. To the point where her song is the best original song in the movie.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because none of the songs are good. I think Whistle While You Work is the most fun to watch because it's colorful and it's meant to be.
Definitely when we were whistling as we walked out.
Yeah. Everything else.
Whistles are like your song, your heart song, right?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
They're the song of your heart or something.
I'm a fan of the first 3 Descendants movies, and this felt like Descendants 5. In fact, Descendants probably has better production value.
In many ways, I agree.
I just think mostly I didn't hate the first half, and then it just kept going, and I was like, oh, this is much longer than it needs to be. Oh, there's a new song every 4 minutes. They couldn't quite quit that.
There was a lot of songs.
My grade, I mean, I want to give it a straight D. D plus. D plus.
You give all the Disney shows D+.
Well, hey, it'll be on Disney Plus
Disney
in a month.
Plus.
and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So who's going next?
Joel.
I'll go next. Kent, I'm mad that you stole my Descendants joke because that was my joke that I said to you guys.
Well, I thought the same thought.
In person, he did.
In person, I did. I just want to on the record, Kent stole my joke.
I like the
Put in that
Descendants.
notes, Kent stealing Joel's jokes.
Great.
No, but then because there were certain parts where I went, this looks like just
Like the opening song, everyone's wearing like colorful dresses and outfits, and you're like, what kind of?
It was more like when a certain group showed up. I'm like, oh, it's the hodgepodge cast doing the choreographed dances together.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like, and I say this knowing how weird it's going to sound, but I don't feel like Rachel Zegler was singing for the movie as her character. I think she was singing for a Tony.
Yeah.
Because not an Oscar, because she had this very kind of staged theatrical way of the way she was performing, where it's these very big gestures and the camera's right in front of her face, and so it was distracting when she's like shaking her head and pushing her chin out. And I hit my mic.
Would you have appreciated her more if she tried to sound more like Snow White, where it's kind of a vibrato kind of?
No, I think the impression might have been a little,
voice, yeah.
might have been a little bit hokey.
Okay.
But I felt like her performance as well. I just was not.
Mouth breathing.
I wouldn't say that.
An underbite.
Yeah, an underbite.
She does this, a little bulldog thing every day where she's like,
And she's always longing with an underbite.
I don't know what it is, but that's beside the point too. But she's not that great of an actress, at least in this role. Maybe this is outside her range. Gal Gadot, also not a great actress. The Prince, not a great actor. In fact, the whole movie I kept being like, hey, someone here's got to give a really good performance. I will say, and this isn't really a spoiler, when Gal Gadot, when the queen becomes the witch, the old witch, I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
She's doing good there.
Right.
And I loved the costumes. I actually really, really enjoyed the costumes in this movie.
Were you okay? They were very traditional with Snow White?
Well, traditional is fine with Snow White.
Yeah.
I like that look, but also Gal Gadot, I was really liking just the look of her with her like long fingernails and the crown and like a stained glass thing going on. I enjoyed the look of the costumes very much. Well, getting to spoilers too. I can't talk about that yet. But overall,
how'd you feel about the CG?
I thought when they were showing the dwarves, shall we say, that it looked like, you know, those videos you see on Reels or TikTok where it's like AI generates live action version of animated characters.
Yeah.
And I watched it going, yeah, there's kind of what they would look like is that. I didn't feel there was a lot of personality that came out in any of them. And the musical numbers, I have to say, every time a new one would start up, my brain would just go, oh.
Like exhausted.
Like another one?
I think the CG, if you take any still of the movie, it looks really good. But yet in motion, a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like she's in the forest and sitting there and you're like, oh, this looks nice. But the scene that just happened beforehand, like she's clearly even in the volume or straight up CG.
Even the dwarves. It's like just a picture of them. You're like, that looks really good. In motion, though.
It looks fake.
A little weird.
How'd you like Eddie Redmayne as Dopey? It's just
they also
just
do.
a joke.
He's not really that, but they also yada yada a lot of the plot. I understand it's a kids movie. I get that. There's a lot of yada yada in the original one, but live action it feels a little different when you're like, wait, how'd they get from point A to point B?
Yeah.
More on that later.
Yes.
Maybe
More on that later. But overall, this is one of the lesser ones. I think I liked probably Little Mermaid a little more than this one.
Me too.
I think this is probably on par with my feelings about Aladdin.
Beauty and the Beast.
I like Aladdin more.
I maybe Beauty and the Beast a little more.
Okay.
Maybe.
Please see The Lion King.
No. But probably 2 stars for me. I can see why others might like it. I think kids might like it. It's not one I want playing around my house all the time, though.
Spoilers aside, this does go a little more traditional with the story. Like they add a whole bunch, but don't think they're trying to reinvent the wheel.
No, there's actually some part where I went, oh, they are having that part.
It comes around in a remarkably familiar way.
But also, if you have a sippy cup and you're at this movie and you play a drinking game, every time they say fair, you're going to die.
You're going to be smart.
You're going to die.
Smashed.
Okay.
Go Zack.
It's funny that this movie should have come out a long time ago, which means this movie was made a long time ago.
Yeah.
You would think that somebody watched Wicked and went, I'm going to make that. Because I have some of the same problems with this movie as I have with Wicked. In that, you
loved Wicked.
I did like Wicked because it's a good foundation, right? It's a good show, right? Time has proven that Wicked is good. So time has also proven that Snow White is good. It's been around for nearly 100 years. So obviously the story longer, but the Disney. Yeah. Okay, so I will give the costuming was good. I really liked it. Although there's no way you could make Snow White's iconic look make any sense or look natural in any way, and it doesn't.
No, it's like all of a sudden, boom.
This is what you look like now, and it's like
we're gonna go.
These primary
get
colors
some apples.
Make no sense in this world.
Yeah,
whatever. Costuming, good. Production design, good. I do think that the CGI overall was good. I love that they all the animals are cartoon animals.
Yes,
I appreciated that. It makes sense in this world. It's great. The music, fail. The casting, fail. They're like these big moments. I hated Rachel Ziegler. You said she's going for a Tony. I think that she wouldn't stand up at a community theater. Whoa. Her performance was horrid. Her singing was atrocious. And literally, I've seen better performances in Centerville, Utah, at a local theater. Like I thought she was atrocious. I thought she was in the wrong movie. I think that this movie is all over the place from a tone standpoint, specifically when it comes to the music, because sometimes it's really fun. Halfway through the movie, I was having actual fun. The 2 songs that led up to that, I was having negative fun. This is depressing and overly sappy. What is this movie?
Yeah.
So I think that the tone is kind of a mess. But there is fun to be had. I liked most of the side characters. I thought that there was a lot of charm to it, but Gal Gadot. Kent, you said that was her number was your favorite?
Yeah, it was my favorite.
We were listening to it as we were waiting, which we had to brave a snowstorm.
We did.
To
We
get there. We were slip sliding all over. We braved a snowstorm just to sit down in an overly heated theater,
It was like a wall of
listening
heat.
to the soundtrack to the movie. And the song comes on, and Joel goes, "Does Gal Gadot have a song?" And you hear her unmistakable accent in this movie that she can't shake.
Kind of the heavy smoker voice.
Even when she is playing an old woman.
It felt different. It was like, by the way, every song had Zack, this reprise or reprise. I'm going to say reprise. Every song was like, they stop, they let some dialogue happen, and then they're like
Wicked?
And I will never quit. Yeah. It felt different to me. I liked it.
You liked her song.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It was the most fun of all the original music because it was the only one that was trying to have fun.
Yeah.
But it didn't fit in with the rest of the movie.
It didn't in a bad way.
What about Princess Problems?
Everything else should have been that.
Princess Problems, like the Into the Woods song of the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, Princess Problems.
Hey guys, we're getting to specifics here.
It's a name of us all.
No, this should definitely have been more campy than it was.
Yeah.
It was too serious. I totally blame Rachel Ziegler for that. She was trying to be this overly dramatic, tender little tulip. And I think that this was horrid miscasting by both her and Gal Gadot. Granted, Gal Gadot, I think she was just trying so hard to be Susan Sarandon.
From Enchanted.
Yeah,
Enchanted, who is amazing in Enchanted.
Like literally the same squirrels from Enchanted.
Yes. And you can tell this is Gal Gadot, watch Enchanted, do everything that Susan Sarandon did because she's perfection.
It's so
and
true.
So it's like you did fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But it really didn't feel like she was embodying a character. It was,
Well, because there's nothing written for her.
Yeah. And also, I will give a failing grade to whoever lit the movie. The movie's lit horribly, just like Wicked. So it's like really colorful, but they couldn't hire a color grader to give this it's all gray. And sure, there's color in the costumes, but there's no color in the lighting. It's mostly flat, although when they get into the forest, it's kind of nice, I will admit.
Well, when they get into the scary part of the forest was fun.
The scary scene.
The Evil Dead scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall,
Well,
No.
I was like, geez, movie. Tree scared me.
Guess I'll give it a 6.
Did you give it a grade?
Maybe.
stars.
I kind of liked this. And there is a movie that I could like more in there somewhere with some tweaks.
I'm surprised you're giving it so high based on
that
how
was
much.
pretty
No,
high.
I actually,
You were
It's
like,
mostly fails.
fail here, fail here, fail here, fail
I like the costumes.
Average.
6.
no, I actually had fun with this movie. Weirdly enough. But I think my expectations were
I saw you shudder
low.
at least 17 times.
My expectations were rock bottom low.
Yeah.
And it somehow went above that.
Yeah. Are
So
we
I'm
being too
kinda
cynical
happy.
about a princess movie?
No, because I think we can all say really
it's
good
still
things
fairly
about it.
lighthearted.
To me, this is right in line with Beauty and the Beast, which almost has the exact same problem of I kind of like this movie, poorly cast.
Good reception when that came out, but over time, everyone's like, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah.
Recast it and you have a better movie, just like this one.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to.
We're getting to the spoilers then, right?
Yes.
Okay. For no reason at all, let's dance.
Sorry, you got shot.
Welcome to the
okay,
story
okay,
of Snow White. Let's
First of all-
describe why she's named Snow White.
She was born in the same snowstorm that we had to drive through to get to this movie.
Yep. No, may I just point out?
Yeah.
One of my favorite what the heck moments of this movie. So the prince, the Dole prince, who's
Jump into the prince already?
He's trying so hard to be like a Flynn Rider or like a. Like
You mean the
Robin
bandit?
Hood.
Yeah,
Yes,
the Lord of the Bandits.
Yeah, I call him the prince, but
The Prince character.
he gets shot with an arrow, which I went, dang, okay. And then they take him
He
in.
jumps in front of an arrow directed towards snow.
And then they take him in to get him fixed. And I like how Doc is like, I'm not a doctor. I'm like a doctor of rocks.
Yeah, actually, could be kind of funny.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that makes sense that he's not really a doctor, whatever. He goes in there. He thinks he died. The doc does. But then he comes out because he actually did something right. And then the bandit comes out. And he's like, still got the wound on his shoulder where he got shot. And one of the first scenes after that, they're like, let's dance. He's like,
No, immediately after.
It was like he was in a Bad Boys movie, and he was Martin Lawrence just dancing around.
no pain whatsoever. And I went, come on. At least they make him like go, ooh, that hurt after the first
Not
clap.
even a
But they
single
had that
reaction.
beautiful song where I totally forgot about the song completely. All the songs were
I
so
can't remember a
bad.
single song.
Okay, let's go back. There's
the beginning.
a little bit of a different setup, right? Snow White, not skin so soft and white, but she was born under
snowstorm.
duress in a snowstorm in a carriage. So they named her Snow White. Okay, cool. She's so nice. It's kind of like the setup.
She's so fair.
It's kind of the setup to Cinderella. Really.
Yeah.
The live action Cinderella. Very similar to that.
Yeah.
Like mom dies.
Mom dies.
Dad, you're pretty great. Oh no,
There was
you fell
something
for a
about
bad woman.
There was something about her that enchanted him. It's like, yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
She walks in. I was like,
She's from a far away, which when they have her walk in, and then a woman came from a far away exotic land.
We
and
had to make an excuse for why she
she's the
has,
only person with an accent.
she's an
Thick
Amazon.
accent.
Everybody,
Yeah.
she's an Amazon.
She's from the mascara.
Okay, so obviously, as per the story, the dad gets sent away to go to war or scout out a invading country, which was never happening. And here's where I thought the mystery was actually reshot somewhere around the movie, because the dad disappears, never to be seen again. And in the middle of the movie, actually, the huntsman tells Snow White, a little bit into the movie, hey, the queen lied about your dad. I'm like, well, everyone just thinks he's dead.
Are we going to
Yeah.
do something cool
And then I'm
here?
like, oh, I bet he shows up at the end of the movie. But then the end of the movie kind of forgets about it. I think they may have filmed something.
She says like something.
No, the lie
and I
was
killed him or something
The lie
like
was
that.
I killed him, but like that's also obvious from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't a lie per se. He wasn't like a servant in the kingdom or
Well,
something.
no, I thought the lie was that he went down there to fight something and he got killed. But I thought she actually killed him.
I think that was just like no development
sent him to
I
whatsoever.
think
Poison
that there
apple.
is a strong implication that it could have just been like Frozen, where he goes off to do something and doesn't return.
Yeah.
Right. I did feel like the whole dad subplot was kind of a waste.
So the way this film was marketed was she was trying to be the best ruler for her country. But really the whole movie was like, hey, I need to find my dad because he's going to make the kingdom better again. And I was like, hey,
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
I'm
wants to be the
Cinderella
daughter.
now.
well, it's funny because
So-
the whole movie's like girl power, but we got to find my dad. It's like, he dead.
Well, and she keeps doing this thing where she's like, I'm going to bravely stay even though I'm not supposed to. When
Yeah.
I kept being like, you're the reason they're chasing people. You need to get away from them.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I'm going to stay here and help. I'm like, you're causing problems.
So then she shows up at the house
Yeah.
At
of
the
the,
door.
seven dwarfs.
Yes.
As we've talked about, they CGI and maybe look great and sometimes look terribly creepy. But come on, Dopey was adorable, was he not?
Eddie Redmayne
I think
was
that's
great.
where most of the budget went to Dopey,
Yeah.
He was adorable.
which I still don't understand how a whistle is a song from your heart and how they know what a whistle is, but they've never heard one before.
Yeah.
She taught them in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, the usual
easy.
thing, right? Goes into the empty house, sleeps in the bed, all that. Well, let's talk a little bit about the controversy surrounding this movie. One of them was a set photo that shows Snow White. Was she walking with him? I don't recall the
Yeah,
photo.
she was in a prairie and she was walking with 7 people.
7 individuals of varying statures, of varying
Diversity.
genders, of varying races. And I'll tell you what, so I saw this photo, and then it's like, oh, that was a leak. And then months and months and months and months later, you see another photo of her in the cottage surrounded by these CGI characters.
Yeah.
This very large-headed CGI characters. And you're like, oh, they redid it because the reaction from the fans was terrible.
Right.
To these, there was like implication that it was random magical creatures. It was like skirting controversy and somehow made more. And like, oh, they retooled the movie
To be more like the original story.
They brought in these CGI characters, and I'll tell you what. After we see the Snow White 7 Dwarves Mine Train roller coaster scene, which was literally just there because I don't know if you guys know, but there is a ride in Walt Disney World. 7 Dwarves Mine Train is a roller coaster, which is why that was all happening. So we see that, and then they meet Snow White, and I went, oh my gosh, they made a huge mistake. I'm upset. I want the real people because they were honestly weirding me out.
Yeah. But then they said, she's like, I'm going to go into the woods. I'm not going to stay here. And they're like, watch out for the human bandits. It's actually an actor's troupe, so watch out for them. They're bad news.
And then, sure enough, we're going through, and on shock to me, I did not expect to see this. Boom. All of the people from the leaked set photo
7 bandits.
right there.
Yeah.
So
So completely separate individuals.
both were in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was completely, I was surprised. I did
Well,
not
it's
know
funny
that was happening.
because
That was not in
it's
the
like they
marketing.
didn't lie, but they did at the same time, right? Because I think you were saying this in the car. We talked about the movie a little bit. I honestly,
You guys talked about the movie
A
before
little
we
bit.
recorded it?
I have a
think-
theory.
How dare you?
I think these humans were meant to be more of the partners, right? That she had, because they each had like one dimension to them. And you could tell that there was maybe meant to be more, maybe a relationship, maybe a very courteous one.
I think.
Right?
I think that as a response,
No personality. One of them shot a crossbow.
I think that was Grumpy.
That was his crossbow.
that was clearly
That was
Grumpy.
his personality.
Yeah,
Okay.
his crossbow.
I think as a response, because of the negative response, Disney went back and they removed the bandits from half this movie.
So what you have instead of 7 dwarfs is 14 friends.
Were they? Yeah, they were in scenes together.
And by the way,
they were, but they also, you totally could have removed.
like when they have the dance party with everyone, it's kind of like, who's meant to be here?
Yeah,
in this scene?
I conspiracy
Intriguing.
theory. I think that the CGI dwarves were added after the fact, and that they cut out half of the bandits' parts of this movie.
Yeah.
and that was just supposed to be them. What sense does it make to have 2 groups of 7 friends?
I did think it was Were there 7 of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I legitimately think that they CGI'd out or in.
That was actually one of my
and
theories.
reshot.
I thought the same thing, but I didn't realize there was. I think there was a group of them.
Think about
7.
the end. What happens? The friends save the day,
Not the dwarfs.
and the dwarves are just standing there.
They're just
they're
there.
standing in a V formation.
It makes absolutely no
It's my
and
sense.
they're
guts.
looking at Gal Gadot, and she looks at them with no surprise or wonder as to who they are.
But yeah, crossbow saves the day in the end.
That's true.
I think that they added the CGI after because she develops a relationship with these people. She fights for them because she was with them for all of 5 minutes.
By the way, why was she fighting? Because the kingdom, like, yes, it was murky. Yes, it was filmed poorly and in bad lighting. What bad was the evil queen doing? Because I was like, maybe it's
She
fine.
wasn't sharing her nice potatoes.
no,
that's-
she was taking everything from everybody.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, they showed
Like their
that
colorful
She
costumes?
took all the riches from everybody.
Point of order, by the way.
Yeah.
So the dwarves in the original 1937 Snow White animated movie, they go and they mine, right? And I never really thought about it until right now.
Who are they working for?
Well, when I watched this one, they're like, "Oh, we're late for work," and I'm like, "Who are you reporting to?"
They've been out for 274 years. Nobody knows they're out there.
Mining.
They're
these
just
giant
going to
mines.
You know, at the end of Lost,
what are they mining?
You know
those
that
for?
that extra
pushing a
short.
button?
You know, the extra
what?
short where the Dharma Initiative guys are just packing the boxes
Yeah.
and the fish biscuits for no reason. It's
Yeah.
that.
No, but I thought they were going to do something with the queen. What does she love?
Well, because
gems.
gems.
What are they mining?
Yeah.
Gems. I thought there was going to be some
Maybe
connection
that
between
was
the two.
part of it that they didn't put in the movie.
Maybe.
Because there's no reason for the dwarves to be like, we'll help you fight the queen. Nobody knew they existed until Snow White showed up there.
Right.
And so they had no reason to rebel.
I thought for some reason the queen was going to find the diamonds, then try to kill the dwarves, and then try to kill Snow White.
would have made more sense.
That's where I thought the train was heading.
Yeah. But they, by the way, everyone, if you're still listening, they went for the true love's kiss angle, which I was shocked by because Disney doesn't do that anymore.
They hit all of the story beats,
Yeah.
No.
didn't they?
They missed the rock falling on the evil queen, which is one of my favorite things.
Oh.
When the dwarves straight up murder the evil queen by rolling down a rock.
Sure. She just disintegrates like a rose that they do several
She
times.
destroys herself. Disney cannot have villains be killed anymore. They have to kill themselves.
Yes. But no, it's old hag. I laughed audibly when we saw Gal Gadot turn into the old hag, and then she goes to the door, and she's like, "Hey, let me talk in my extremely specific accent. You'll never know it's me." It's like, oh, come on.
She's the best part of the movie.
Come on.
The best part of the movie.
But
The old hag.
poison apple, arm dropping, apple dropping,
Yeah.
true love's kiss,
Some
whole
of
deal.
the dwarves over the log. They had the scary tree.
Except for at the end, because you have Snow White come into town and show up in a red robe. And then, can you hear the people sing? And everyone gets
Inspire
behind
the
her.
locals. Yeah.
Yeah. On that small set with about 40 extras in it. It's just lazy in every way.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like as I was watching, I was like, yeah, whatever. But I have to admit, like I said, every
you
time a song
bored?
came on, I was like, oh, it's slowing down.
Yeah.
Like let's just get this over.
Oh, the songs were just
and the
terribly
subplots
paced.
weren't adding anything to the whole thing. Like at the end when I didn't like and okay, so 2 things. First of all, when she reads in the book, she's like, a poison apple. Oh, and the only cure is true love's kiss. Well,
That's no big deal.
that's taken
He's
care
locked
of.
up.
I'm gonna leave her here and not check on him.
yeah, he's locked up. Good thing he has a skeleton finger that he can pick a lock with and then suddenly get outside. What happened? But
It makes sense.
And then I got mad because I thought he left his bro behind.
yeah.
Yeah,
See
you
ya.
really did. I mean, it's right there, Zach.
Yeah. And then there was another thing too where they kind of over explained. I was going to think about it, but it's gone.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's just bad. I love though every time.
Oh, the mirror.
Go ahead. Oh, the mirror.
In the movie, they say, and the mirror would only answer one question: who's the fairest of all? I'm like, that's not canon.
How often would you go visit the mirror if it's just going to ask that one question?
Well, it depends how vain you are, Kent.
Well, pretty vain. Why can't it be useful, like the Beauty and the Beast mirror? Like, that's it.
And I try to remember. I'm trying to remember the 1937 one of what the magic mirror could do, because I thought it could do more than just answer one simple question.
I'm pretty sure it plays a Bachelor style game. You know,
no, that's
a dating
Shrek.
game.
That's Shrek.
Bachelorette number 1, Bachelorette number 2. No.
And then, but I did like, as much as I was sad not to see the evil queen get crushed by a rock that the dwarfs push off.
Yeah.
I did like the fact they did the True Love's Kiss, that it actually happened. I was like, oh, cool. Because that's, traditional and that's cute.
Yeah.
But then also, I kind of liked how the queen smashes the mirror and the mirror absorbs her. For some reason, that was visually satisfying to me. Because she gets mad at it one final time, smashes it, it shatters, and then sucks her in. She turns to ash, and then it sucks her in. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
She withers like the flower.
Lore that was never established. But yeah. Magic. Well, by the way, she magic?
She's magic.
She can invent a diamond knife, but not another one? Okay.
Well, I also like at the beginning how it's like, and the evil queen was so beautiful that people thought that what she could do was magic.
And she literally does magic.
Literally turns a red rose into a white rose.
I think it's implied through all of that she's a sorcerer. She bewitched the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yes, please.
So,
yeah, I think that the changes in this were
minor.
Yeah, so
but unnecessary additions.
Essentially, they made Snow White. What is her name? Lily James.
Yeah,
Cinderella.
Yes,
they just turned.
Which we all like the Cinderella.
Take it easy. That's
right?
Prime right there.
No, it's great. I'm just saying that they turned
it's on Disney Plus, not Prime.
They turned the character into that version of Snow White. Like it's
okay.
Because look, what does she do? She does chores all day.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like,
okay.
They haven't heard from her in years. She's been locked away.
Snow White is a shyster.
She's like, let's all clean.
Let's all clean.
Everyone
she literally
else
picked up. I was watching, and I'm pretty sure she only picked up one red piece of clothing and threw it in a hamper.
Yeah.
Everything else she gave someone else.
Joel, that was obvious in the song. Whistle while you delegate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was totally she was a con man, getting all those guys to clean up.
Tom Sawyer.
Totally Tom Sawyering it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
there's fun to be had.
There is
in there. It's not terrible.
If you had like a 4-year-old daughter who didn't care about really long movies, like this is an okay movie to take them to.
I do feel like it's a little long.
But think about it compared to the first ever Disney animated movie that was nominated for a Best Picture. Like that movie was so amazing, and then we're getting a very unnecessary remake. Like, does this deserve to exist? No.
Well, I mean, none of the live action remakes really should. I want to bring it back to this real quick then. So the budget for this one is approximately $270 million. Approximately.
Outside of remakes too. Or reshoots, I should say.
Because they had to reshoot and add in those CGI dwarves.
How much you guys think this is going to make at the box office? Worldwide box office.
Oh, it'll make $700 million.
Yeah?
Maybe 8.
Just under 5.
Just under 5?
Yeah.
I think it'll do well.
I'll say 801.
Just in case?
Yeah. On $801, Bob.
Now people are waiting for Disney Plus. I think it fails.
It's coming out at an awkward time.
Truthfully, this felt to me like a Disney original series movie. This felt like a straight to streaming.
Like your original joke. It is a Descendants movie, right?
It felt like it a little bit, and I just feel like that's where it belongs in this big budget kind of Hollywood thing they're doing. I don't think it's going to go well.
No.
So
to the producers who forced this casting, shame on you. Like it's Mark Platt, who is the father of Ben Platt, who has been producing stuff in movies and Broadway for years. And I don't believe in his casting at all.
Why did they get Jonathan Groff's cousin to play the
Discount?
Bandit
They
King?
all felt like a little knockoff version like that.
Yeah.
No, with better casting and also Mark Webb of the Homecoming series of
No, he did Amazing Ones.
No, he did Amazing.
And 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah, so he's done good movies.
Sometimes.
Huh.
I know.
No,
I know.
This movie, I think...
But what does Disney do? They get a decent director to be like, hey, yeah, give us some credibility. It's like, but make a crappy movie.
Poorly conceived.
Guy Ritchie did Aladdin.
I forgot Guy Ritchie did that movie. He had that one like half speed, fast motion scene.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So there are our thoughts on the 2005 live action remake of Snow White. We want to hear your thoughts, though. Let's keep it kind of spoiler free in the comments. You can always DM us specific plot points and we'll let you know. But really, there's not that many spoilers because it's Snow White.
Maybe I give it a 5. Maybe.
Yeah, a 4.
Maybe I'm gonna do the thing where I lower the score.
Indiana Jones.
Better end it then. Bye.
4.